By 923, the Carolingian dynasty, once the most powerful force in Western Europe, was crumbling. Viking raiders had been granted lands in Normandy, but now their Norman descendants fought not as invaders, but as rivals. The last Carolingian king, Charles the Simple, made one final attempt to restore his power. Here, the ancestors of modern France clashed with the ancestors of modern Normandy in a battle that would decide the fate of the Carolingian line. The year is 923, Franks versus Normans. A desperate fight for the throne of France begins. For years, Charles the Simple had struggled to hold on to power. He had once negotiated peace with the Viking leader Rollo, granting land to the Normans in exchange for loyalty. But many Frankish nobles saw him as weak. A rebellion broke out, and Charles was forced to battle both his own nobles and the rising Norman forces. The decisive confrontation took place at Soissons in northern France. Charles' army, made up of heavy Frankish cavalry, took strong defensive positions near a river, hoping to use the terrain to their advantage. The Normans, led by Count Robert of Paris and Duke Rollo's allies, relied on mobility and hit-and-run tactics, the same strategies their Viking ancestors had used. As the battle began, the Franks launched powerful cavalry charges, trying to break the Norman lines. But the Normans absorbed the attack and countered with well-timed ambushes, cutting down the Frankish knights as they attempted to retreat. Slowly, Charles' forces were surrounded. The Frankish formations collapsed, and Charles himself was captured. The battle was over. The Normans had won. But this wasn't just a defeat, it was the end of an era. With Charles imprisoned, the Carolingian dynasty lost its grip on France. Over time, a new ruling house, the Capetians, would rise to power, shaping the future of the French monarchy. Meanwhile, the Normans grew stronger, becoming one of the most powerful forces in medieval Europe. And just over a century later, they would cross the English Channel and change history once again. But could the Carolingians have reclaimed power? Some historians suggest that a stronger alliance with the Normans earlier could have secured Charles' reign. If he had forged better ties with Rollo instead of relying on the rebellious Frankish nobles, could the Carolingians have survived longer? Or was the fall of the Carolingians inevitable? Like and subscribe for more historical breakdowns.